I freeze in the doorway of my own clinic, unable to process the scene unfolding before me. My coffee sloshes dangerously close to the rim of my mug as I stare at Jessica, my younger sister perched behind the reception desk like she owns the place. Her laughter floats across the waiting room, warm and inviting in a way that makes my stomach clench. "So we're thinking 30% ownership would be fair," Jessica says, leaning forward to touch the arm of the silver-haired man seated across from her. "Our family business has always been about creating meaningful connections in the community." "Our family business?" The mug slips from my fingers, shattering against the polished floor tiles. Coffee splashes across my sensible tan flats. Every head turns toward me, Jessica, the silver-haired investor, and the 3 patients waiting for their morning appointments. "Sarah." Jessica's smile doesn't falter. "Perfect timing. Mr. Blackwell was just telling me about his investment portfolio." I step over the shards of ceramic, my professional mask sliding into place despite the thunder in my chest. "There must be some confusion." My voice comes out steadier than I expect. "This is my practice." Jessica laughs, the sound tinkling like wind chimes. "Oh, Sarah's just the medical brain," she tells Mr. Blackwell with a conspiratorial wink. "I handle the business side." Mr. Blackwell glances between us, his expression shifting from interest to discomfort. The gold signet ring on his finger catches the light as he taps it against his knee. "Jessica," I keep my tone measured, though something dangerous rises in my throat. "I need a private word with you. Now. We're in the middle of—" "Now, please." Jessica sighs dramatically before turning to Mr. Blackwell with an apologetic smile. "Sisters, right? Why don't you look over those projections I printed for you while I handle this?" She follows me down the hallway to my office. The moment the door closes behind us, I turn to face her. "What exactly do you think you're doing?" Jessica drops into my desk chair, my chair, and spins once before facing me. "Helping you, obviously. Mom and Dad thought it was time I stepped in. The clinic's finally turning a profit, and you need someone to manage the business aspects. Mom and Dad thought." I stop myself, breathing through my nose. "This is my clinic. I didn't ask for help." "You never do." Jessica pulls a folder from her purse. "That's why Dad drafted these. He says it's time to make our partnership official." My blood turns to ice as she slides the folder across the desk. Inside are legal documents, partnership agreements with Thompson Physical Therapy letterhead. My eyes catch on a signature at the bottom of the preliminary paperwork. My signature. Except I never signed this. Where did you get this? My voice sounds distant in my own ears. Dad had his lawyer draw it up. Jessica examines her manicured nails coral pink, impractical for any real work. "You're so busy with patients. We thought we'd handle the paperwork. The forgery is good but not perfect. The loop on my S curves the wrong way. I've spent years signing medical charts and insurance forms. I know my own handwriting. Get out." The words slip out, quiet but razor sharp. "What?" "Get out." I place both palms on my desk, leaning forward. "Now." Jessica blinks, surprise flickering across her face before hardening into something uglier. "You can't be serious. After everything we've done for you?" "Everything they've done for me." The words trigger a cascade of memories. My 10th birthday. Jessica unwrapping a pink bicycle with ribbons streaming from the handlebars while I received practical school supplies. Working night shifts at the hospital cafeteria during physical therapy school, sending half my paycheck to cover Jessica's rent. My father's voice. Always the same refrain. "You're the responsible one, Sarah. Jessica needs more support." "I built this clinic myself," I say, each word precise. Every patient, every piece of equipment, every certification on that wall, that was me. Not you, not Dad, not anyone else. Jessica stands, clutching her designer purse against her chest like armor. "This isn't over. Dad already told his friends about our family clinic." "This isn't a family clinic. It's mine." "We'll see about that." She stalks to the door, already pulling out her phone. I hear her voice as she walks down the hallway. "Daddy? We have a problem." I sink into my chair after she leaves, the folder still open on my desk. The forged signature stares up at me, a symbol of everything I've allowed for too long. Outside, I can hear Tom directing patients, cleaning up the broken mug, carrying on like nothing has happened, but everything has changed. For the first time in 33 years, I see my family clearly, and I'm not giving up what I've built without a fight. I grip the steering wheel tighter as my parents' brick colonial comes into view. Sunday dinner, the Thompson family tradition I've dreaded since childhood, but never found the courage to decline. The garage door stands open, revealing Dad's meticulously organized tools, and Jessica's candy apple red Audi parked in the spot that's always been reserved for her. My stomach knots as I pull my sensible Honda alongside the curb. 3 days have passed since Jessica tried to stake her claim on my clinic. 3 days of ignored calls and evasive text messages from my family. Whatever awaits me inside won't be the casual Sunday dinner they've pretended this island mom greets me at the door, wearing her good pearls, the ones reserved for country club functions and Christmas Eve. Her smile stretches too wide across her face. Sarah, sweetheart, we were starting to worry. I'm 15 minutes early. The dining room table gleams with Mom's best china, the Royal Doulton, with hand-painted periwinkle patterns she inherited from Grandma Thompson. Crystal water glasses catch the afternoon light. A centerpiece of fresh flowers I know came from the expensive florist near Dad's golf club dominates the middle of the table. What's the occasion? I ask, though I already know. Mom fidgets with her bracelet. Can't a mother want things to look nice for Sunday dinner? Dad emerges from his study, reading glasses perched on his nose, bringing with him the familiar scent of expensive cologne and aftershave. Sarah! Right on time! He embraces me with one arm, the other holding a manila folder. My throat tightens. Jessica's in the kitchen helping your mother, he says, guiding me toward the dining room. Let's have a drink before dinner. The bourbon appears without me asking 2 fingers. Neat. The way he taught me to drink it when I graduated physical therapy school. To success, he'd said then, and I'd believed he meant mine. Your sister tells me you had a visitor at the clinic, Dad says, settling into his chair at the head of the table. An investor? Blackwell, was it? I wouldn't call him a visitor. More like someone Jessica invited without my knowledge. Dad waves away my correction. Technicalities. The point is, Blackwell's interested. He's mentioned your little operation to several people at the club. My clinic isn't an operation, Dad. It's a professional medical practice that I built from nothing. With our support, he reminds me, his voice dropping an octave, the warning tone I recognize from childhood. Your mother and I co-signed those loans, which I've paid on time, every month, without fail. Of course you have. You're a Thompson. He says this like it explains everything, like my responsibility and work ethic are family traits rather than personal choices I made, despite their example. That's why we're so proud to tell our friends about the family clinic. The family clinic. The words hit me like a physical blow. Jessica sweeps in from the kitchen, balancing a tray of appetizers. Mom trails behind her with nervous energy, glancing between us like she's watching a tennis match. Sarah, Jessica sings, setting down the tray. You disappeared after our meeting. Mr. Blackwell was disappointed. It wasn't a meeting. Mom interjects quickly. Jessica's been telling us all about her ideas for the clinic. The senior aquatic therapy program sounds wonderful. I set my drink down before I spill it. What senior aquatic therapy program? The one we're starting next month. Jessica answers, popping an olive into her mouth. I've already mentioned it to Mom's bridge club. They're so excited to be our first participants. Free of charge, of course, Mom adds with a proud smile, for the inaugural sessions. My head spins. You've scheduled treatments? Without consulting me? Without my authorization? Dad clears his throat. Your sister's just showing initiative. Isn't that what you wanted? Help with the business side? No. The word comes out sharper than I intended. That's never what I wanted. An uncomfortable silence falls over the room. Mom fidgets with her napkin while Dad and Jessica exchange glances. While we're on the subject, I continue, finding my voice. Has anyone been taking supplies from the clinic? Elastic bands, cold packs, tape? Because our inventory doesn't match our records. Jessica's cheeks flush. Meredith had a sprained ankle. I thought since they weren't being used. Those supplies are for patients who pay for treatment, not your friends. It was just a few things, Mom says, reaching for the water pitcher. Family helps family. Dad sets his folder on the table with deliberate calm. Sarah, I think you're being a bit dramatic. We're simply trying to help you succeed. By taking things without asking? By scheduling free treatments? By meeting with investors behind my back? By leveraging our connections, Dad corrects. Do you know how many of my associates at the club need physical therapy? Do you know what kind of business we could bring you? I don't need your business. The clinic is doing fine. Because of the Thompson name, Dad insists. People trust our family. I stand abruptly. I need to use the bathroom. I head not toward the powder room but to Dad's study. The door stands ajar, his computer screen glowing. Years of living under his roof taught me his habits, the passwords he recycles, the folders he never properly closes. A document catches my eye on his desk. I flip it open. For immediate release, Thompson Physical Therapy announces new management. Denver, Colorado, Thompson Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation Center proudly announces Jessica Thompson as its new clinic manager. Jessica joins her sister, Dr. Sarah Thompson, in expanding the family-owned business. My phone buzzes in my pocket. A text from Tom. Something's wrong with recent billing. Call me. Then a voicemail notification from Dr. Wilson. Sarah, heard rumors about your clinic. Let's talk. An email alert follows. Unauthorized access attempt detected on your account. For your security. Sarah? Mom's voice calls from the dining room. Dinner's ready. I return to find Jessica seated in my usual chair, directly to Dad's right. She smiles up at me innocently. I found something interesting in your study, Dad, I say, holding up the press release. Care to explain? Dad doesn't flinch. Just getting ahead of the announcement. What announcement? That Jessica will be joining the practice as manager. He slides the folder toward me. We've already drafted the paperwork. Jessica wipes away a tear that appears suspiciously on cue. I just wanted to be part of your success, Sarah. Why can't you share just a little? After all we've done for you through medical school, Dad adds, his voice hardening. Those loans we helped with, the car we bought you. Co-signed, I correct him. Not paid. And I sold that car 3 years ago to help with clinic equipment. Your sister just wants to feel important too, Mom pleads, reaching across the table. Is that so wrong? I look around the table at their faces. Dad's controlled confidence, Mom's anxious placating, Jessica's practiced vulnerability. For the first time, I see them clearly. They aren't family helping family. They're opportunists circling success they had no hand in creating. And I've allowed it for far too long. I have to go, I say, gathering my purse and the evidence I've collected. I have a clinic to protect. I spot Jessica at the front desk of my clinic before she sees me. She's hunched over the appointment book, phone pressed to her ear, laughing that tinkling laugh that's always set my teeth on edge. Oh no, Mrs. Caldwell, that won't work at all, she says, scratching through something in the book. Dr. Thompson can see you Thursday at 2 instead. Sarah's schedule is just so full, but I've been helping organize things. My stomach tightens as I step through the doorway. Jessica looks up, her smile faltering for just a second, before brightening with artificial warmth. I'll call you back, she tells Mrs. Caldwell, hanging up quickly. Sarah, I was just helping with some scheduling conflicts. Those aren't conflicts, I say, keeping my voice level as I move toward the desk. Mrs. Caldwell has been coming Tuesdays at 11 for 3 years. Her progress depends on consistency. Jessica waves her hand. She was very understanding. Besides, Dad needed to talk to you about some investment opportunities on Tuesday, so I cleared your morning. The pencil in my hand snaps. I didn't even realize I was holding it. You rescheduled my patients for Dad? It's just business, Sarah. He's meeting with the board at First Colorado about possibly backing an expansion. She leans forward, lowering her voice. Think bigger, sis. Thompson Physical Therapy could have locations all over Denver. Tom appears from the back hallway, his expression carefully neutral. He's worked with me since I opened the doors, and the slight arch of his eyebrow tells me everything I need to know. Dr. Thompson, we had 3 calls this morning about the friends and family discount, he says, handing me a stack of message slips. Apparently, they were told treatments would be complimentary. Jessica at least has the decency to flush. Mom just brought a few ladies from her church group for a tour. They've all got aches and pains, and I thought, you thought you'd give away services I spent years training to provide. The words come out sharper than I intend, but I can't seem to stop them. Those aches and pains require professional assessment and treatment plans, not courtesy sessions. The bell above the door chimes. My mother sweeps in, trailing perfume and 3 silver-haired women who clutch their handbags like shields. Here she is, Mom announces proudly. My brilliant daughter, the doctor. She stage whispers to her friends. Sarah's always been the smart one. The way she says it, like intelligence is a consolation prize for not being the pretty one, the charming one, the favorite one, makes something brittle inside me threaten to snap. Ladies, I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding, I say, straightening my white coat. Jessica isn't authorized to schedule appointments or offer discounts. Mom's smile freezes. But we already told everyone at Bridge Club about the Thompson Family Clinic. That name again. A clinic I built with student loans and 70-hour work weeks, being claimed like a family heirloom. I need to prepare for my next patient, I say, turning away before I say something I'll regret. Tom, please explain our new patient intake process to these ladies. Later that night, after everyone has gone, I sit at my desk surrounded by stacks of financial records. The clock on the wall reads 11:43 p.m. My eyes burn from staring at spreadsheets, but I keep going, methodically documenting every instance where my family has helped themselves to my professional services. 27 courtesy treatments for Mom's friends in the past year. Dad's weekly back therapy sessions never billed. Jessica's boyfriend's shoulder rehabilitation after his skiing accident. 6 weeks of intensive therapy marked family discount in Jessica's handwriting. The numbers climb. Thousands of dollars in services, casually claimed as family entitlement. I pull out my personal financial records next. Years of bank statements show a pattern I'd never fully acknowledged. Through physical therapy school, I sent Jessica $400 monthly for her apartment while I lived on ramen in a studio with a hot plate. My graduation present to myself had been a second-hand Honda, while I'd helped with the down payment on Jessica's new Audi the same year. A memory surfaces signing the lease on this clinic space 3 years ago. I stood alone in the empty room, keys digging into my palm, terrified and exhilarated. I'd calculated the risk down to the penny, knowing I had exactly 8 months to become profitable before my savings ran out. I'd made it in 7. No family backing, no investors. Just sweat and determination and nights like this one, working until my eyes crossed. My phone buzzes with a text from Tom. Found something you should see. Jessica tried accessing the billing system yesterday. Password attempts logged. A second text follows. Dr. Wilson called. Heard rumors at Medical Association dinner about new management at your clinic. Wanted to warn you. I sit back, letting these pieces fall into place. The room feels suddenly too small, too warm. I've been fighting the wrong battle defending individual appointments when they're after the entire clinic. The phone rings, startling me. Dad's name flashes on the screen. Emergency family meeting. Tomorrow night, our house. His tone brooks no argument, expecting the same compliance I've always given, but something has shifted in me. For the first time, I see his summons for what it is. Not parental authority, but the desperation of someone whose plan is being threatened. I'll be there, I say, and hang up. The next evening, I park in front of my parents' Tudor-style home in Cherry Creek. Through the window, I can see Jessica gesturing animatedly. Dad stands by the fireplace, one hand in his pocket where he keeps his worry stones small, polished rocks he fidgets with when he's planning something big. Mom opens the door before I knock. Sarah, honey, we've been waiting. Her voice carries the same worried tremor it had when I was 16 and came home past curfew. The living room falls silent as I enter. Jessica sits on the edge of the sofa, wearing a crisp blazer that still has the security tag tucked under the collar, another purchase she can't afford. Let's get to the point, Dad says, pulling out a leather portfolio. Your mother and I have been patient, but it's time to formalize our arrangement. He slides partnership papers across the coffee table. The Thompson Family Medical Services LLC. Equal ownership split between myself, Jessica, and my parents. We've already filed the preliminary paperwork, he continues. This just requires your signature to make it official. Jessica leans forward, unable to contain her excitement. I've been thinking about redecorating the reception area, something more modern, with a family photo wall. We just want to be included, Mom adds, tears welling in her practiced way. Is that so much to ask after all we've done for you? For a moment, I feel the familiar pull the urge to sign whatever they want to keep the peace, to be the responsible one, the good daughter. The weight of 33 years of familial expectation presses on my shoulders. My phone buzzes in my pocket. Another text from Tom. Dr. Wilson's daughter Melissa called. She's an attorney, offering free consultation if you need it. Says she owes you for fixing her runner's knee last year. The simple message cuts through the fog of guilt. I'm not alone in this fight. The community I've built through my work, they see my value even if my family doesn't. I set my briefcase on the table instead of taking the partnership papers. What's that? Dad asks, frowning at the unexpected deviation from his script. Documentation, I say, keeping my voice steady as I methodically arrange folders on the table. Every courtesy treatment provided to family and friends over the past 3 years. Current market value, $43,500. I place another folder beside it. Copies of the loan agreements showing I am the sole borrower for the clinic startup costs. The loans you helped with by co-signing have been refinanced solely in my name, as of last month. Jessica's smug smile wavers. Dad's hand tightens around his worrystone. And this, I say, placing a final document in the center of the table, is a cease and desist letter drafted by Melissa Wilson, regarding the unauthorized use of my professional credentials and business name. The silence stretches between us, heavy with the weight of 3 decades of unspoken truths. For the first time in my life, I've brought receipts to a guilt trip. And for once, my family has nothing to say. I place 3 manila folders on my parents' polished dining table with deliberate precision. The sound of each folder hitting the cherrywood surface punctuates the tense silence. My father sits at the head of the table, jaw clenched, while Jessica fidgets with her coral-painted nails. Mother hovers near the kitchen doorway, wringing her hands in the apron she insisted on wearing despite ordering takeout. What's all this? Father's voice carries that familiar authoritative tone that once made me shrink. Not tonight. Documentation. I open the first folder and slide it toward him. This is a management service agreement I signed yesterday with Rocky's healthcare group. His eyes narrow as he scans the contract. You had no right to. I had every right. The steadiness in my voice surprises even me. It's my clinic. My name is on every legal document, every license, every insurance form. Jessica reaches for the contract. Daddy, she can't. Actually, I can. I open the second folder. This is an itemized statement of all the free treatments provided to this family over the past 2 years. Market value, $43,500. Mother gasps. Sarah, we're family. Family helps family. Yes, they do. I meet her eyes. But family doesn't steal. Family doesn't forge signatures. Father's face flushes crimson. I helped co-sign your loans. Without me, you'd never have gotten that clinic off the ground. I've anticipated this. From the third folder, I extract loan statements organized by date, highlighting my payments and the refinancing I completed last year. I've paid every penny myself. I removed you as co-signer 18 months ago. The papers tremble in his hands. For the first time in my life, I see uncertainty crack his facade. Jessica's calculated tears begin right on cue. After everything we've done for you, you owe us. Do I? My voice remains level as I extract the final document, a spreadsheet detailing every dollar I sent Jessica during my physical therapy program. $7,000 during my 2nd year alone, while I worked night shifts at the hospital cafeteria and lived on ramen noodles. The color drains from Jessica's face as she recognizes her own text messages. Emergency. Need rent money. And, please help with car payment just this once. Messages sent monthly for years. Mother sits heavily in the dining chair, her hand pressed against her mouth. Her eyes move across the columns of numbers, indisputable evidence of years of financial exploitation. This is ridiculous. Father's voice lacks its usual commanding tone. We supported you your entire life. You supported the idea of me, the responsible daughter who would never question you. I placed the third document on the table. This is the new official policy for Thompson Physical Therapy. Family members will now pay standard rates for all services. Jessica's tears vanish, replaced by sudden anger. You can't be serious. You'd charge your own mother? The same rate I charge everyone else's mother. I square my shoulders. The same rate I charge elderly patients on fixed incomes. Father pushes back from the table, standing to use his height as intimidation, a tactic I've seen my entire life. What will people think if they know how you've treated us? They'll know exactly what happened. I remain seated, refusing to rise to his challenge. I've kept records of everything. You'd humiliate your own family? Jessica's voice rises sharply. You tried to steal my life's work. The words come out softer than I expected, but they land with precision. I'm protecting it. Father's fist pounds the table, rattling the china dinner plates we never touched. This isn't over, Sarah. Actually, at Island, I gather my folders and stand, feeling taller than my 5'7" frame. You have choices now. You can respect my boundaries and rebuild our relationship on honest terms, or you can continue this battle you've created. But understand this, I will not surrender what I've built. Mother's quiet sob breaks the silence that follows. Her eyes meet mine, and for the first time, I see something new there. Not disappointment or manipulation, but recognition. Perhaps even respect. Sunday dinners won't be the same, she whispers. No, I agree. They won't. That might be a good thing. I walk toward the front door, my sensible shoes silent on the carpeting. No one follows me. No one calls my name. The weight of 33 years of expectation slides from my shoulders as I step outside into the cool evening air. Tomorrow brings another battle at the clinic. But tonight, for the first time, I've stood my ground on the family battlefield and refused to surrender. And somehow, I'm still standing. I arrive at my clinic 30 minutes early Monday morning, needing the quiet to prepare for Mrs. Delgado's knee replacement evaluation. The parking lot is empty except for 3 cars I don't recognize: my father's Lincoln, my mother's Buick, and Jessica's red convertible. My stomach tightens as I park beside Tom's sedan. He steps out, coffee in hand, his expression grim. They've been here since 7, he says, falling into step beside me. Your sister's already behind the reception desk. I grip my leather portfolio tighter. How many patients have arrived? Just the Hendersons for their 8 o'clock. I've got them in the waiting area. The glass door swings open before I reach it. My father stands there, silver hair perfectly combed, wearing the navy suit he reserves for bank meetings and funerals. Sarah. His voice carries across the parking lot. We need to resolve this situation immediately. I brush past him into my own lobby. The familiar scent of lavender, my choice for the diffuser, has been replaced by something floral and cloying. Jessica sits at the reception desk, wearing a white lab coat. My lab coat. Good morning, Dr. Thompson, Jessica chirps, her smile brittle. The Hendersons look up from their seats, confusion evident on their faces. My mother rises from a chair in the corner, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue. Sarah, please, can we talk privately before anyone else arrives? This family dispute is breaking my heart. I place my bag on the counter, noticing the stack of new business cards beside the appointment book. Jessica Thompson, practice manager, gleams in raised silver lettering. Tom, I say, keeping my voice even, would you please take the Hendersons to treatment room 3? I'll be with them shortly. Tom nods, guiding the elderly couple through the door to the treatment area. The moment it closes behind them, my father steps forward. Your behavior has become completely unreasonable, he says. After everything we've invested in your education, your career. My education that I paid for, I interrupt. My career that I built. Jessica stands, smoothing the lab coat over her designer dress. Sarah, be realistic. Everyone in Denver knows Dad's connections helped you establish this place. One call from him to his banking friends could... Is that a threat? The words emerge calmer than I feel. My mother's tissue twists between her fingers. Family helps family, Sarah. That's what we've always done. Like when Jessica accessed protected patient files, or when Dad called my vendors claiming to be the owner. I move to the reception desk, opening the drawer where I keep emergency files. My father's face reddens. I was simply checking on orders you'd mentioned were delayed, while requesting pricing information and suggesting changes to established contracts. I remove a sealed envelope and place it on the counter. Changes that would have violated my insurance agreements. Jessica's hand covers the envelope. You're blowing things out of proportion. I was just trying to help. By offering unauthorized discounts to your friends? By rescheduling priority patients to fit in your manicurist? The bell above the door chimes as another patient enters. My father seizes the opportunity, stepping forward with an outstretched hand. Good morning. I'm Robert Thompson, Sarah's father and business advisor for the clinic. Mrs. Reynolds, good morning. I move between them. Tom will check you in shortly. Would you mind waiting just a moment? Once Mrs. Chen is seated with a magazine, I turn to the reception desk and press the small button underneath that activates the security system I installed last week. Jessica, take off my lab coat. My sister blinks. What? Take it off. Now. As she reluctantly removes it, I open the envelope and remove 3 certified letters. These are from my attorney. I place one before each family member. They outline the legal consequences of your actions over the past weeks. My father snorts. What actions? Helping my daughter run her business? Misrepresentation, attempted fraud, and HIPAA violations. I tap the security camera in the corner. All documented. The color drains from Jessica's face as she scans the letter. You recorded us? After you tried to access patient billing records, yes. I turn to my father. The letter includes timestamps of your calls to my vendors and transcripts of your conversations. My mother's tears vanish as she reads. Sarah, you can't possibly. I can and I have. I tap the desk where Jessica's new business cards sit. Impersonating clinic staff is fraud. Attempting to access medical records without authorization violates federal law. My father's bluster crumbles as he reaches the second page. His signet ring taps against the counter in an uneven rhythm. You have exactly 5 minutes to leave my clinic, I say, my voice steady. After that, I call the authorities. Jessica's eyes widen. You'd have your own family arrested? You tried to steal my life's work. The words emerge from somewhere deep inside me. You forged my signature. You lied to my patients. My father stuffs the letter into his pocket. This isn't over. At Island, I stand taller, feeling the weight of years lifting from my shoulders. I've provided copies of all documentation to my attorney with instructions to proceed if you contact my clinic, my staff, or my patients again. My mother reaches for my hand. I step back. Sarah, we're family, she whispers. Family doesn't do what you've done. I check my watch. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. They leave in single file. My father first, back rigid with fury. My mother following, shoulders curved with disappointment. Jessica last, her face unreadable as she places her counterfeit business cards in the trash. When the door closes behind them, Tom emerges from the hallway. The Hendersons are ready, he says quietly. I nod, reaching for a fresh lab coat from the cabinet behind the desk. Are you okay? Tom asks. I straighten my shoulders, feeling the familiar weight of the coat earned through years of study, sacrifice, and hard work. I'm better than okay, I say. For the first time in my life, I'm free. Morning light streams through the expanded windows of Thompson Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, catching on the fresh paint and new equipment. 6 months have transformed more than just the clinic. I adjust my white coat and survey what I've built. Dr. Thompson, your 9 o'clock is ready. Tom's voice carries the same respect it always has, but now I stand taller receiving it. The team gathers around the central desk for morning briefing. 4 therapists and 3 assistants all hired because they share my philosophy of patient-centered care. My throat tightens, watching them prepare for the day, professionally and thoroughly. No drama, no manipulation, just excellent health care. Mrs. Henderson needs extra time with her shoulder exercises. I tell them, adjusting the schedule on our new digital system. And remember, we're closing early Friday for the community outreach planning session. They disperse to their stations while I head to treatment room 3. Mr. Collins waits there, an 84-year-old former bus driver with a replaced knee and a fondness for peppermint candies. Those hands of yours work miracles, he says as I guide his leg through the proper extension. My daughter says I haven't moved this well since Ford was president. I smile, adjusting his position. Your dedication to the exercises is what's making the difference. His weathered face creases. You remind me of my Eleanor. She never took credit either. Always building others up. My hands work automatically, finding the tight spots in his quadriceps. I wonder what my parents would say if I treated them this way with professional kindness, rather than the desperate need for approval that defined our relationship for 33 years. All right, Mr. Collins. Hold this position for 30 seconds, then release. He grips my hand before I move to the next patient. You're doing important work here, young lady. The morning blurs into afternoon. Between patients, I sign off on insurance forms, order supplies, and approve next month's schedule. No one questioning my decisions. No one trying to take what isn't theirs. Tom finds me as the last patient leaves. "You've built something special here, Dr. Thompson." I glance around at the clean, organized space expanded into the office next door when the dentist retired. The framed mission statement hangs where everyone can see it. Healing hands, healing hearts. The greatest healing has been my own, I admit. Later, I water the peace lily by the window, a housewarming gift from Dr. Wilson, when I purchased my small craftsman home last month. The first property I've ever owned, with a garden and a spare bedroom I've turned into a library. No more cramped apartment with thin walls. The volunteer schedule for next week sits on my desk Tuesday evenings at the low-income clinic downtown. Giving back feels different when it's by choice, not obligation. The clinic celebrates its 2nd anniversary next week. A small gathering planned. Dr. Wilson will bring his famous lasagna. Friends and colleagues who stood by me when leaving family behind felt like walking off a cliff. A soft knock interrupts my thoughts. Jessica stands in the doorway, alone. No designer purse, no makeup hiding her features. 6 months of silence between us stretches wider than the doorframe. "Can we talk?" she asks. "Just us." I check my watch. "I have 20 minutes. That's all I can give right now." She nods, accepting the boundary. After she leaves, I stand alone in my clinic. My fingers trace the new pain management certification on the wall. The embossed letters catch the evening light. "I'm Sarah Thompson," I whisper to the empty room, "and I built this myself, every part of it.